What's good, my zombie inside? What's good, Petters? What's up, Tony Hayabusa? What up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to the stream. We got big news to cover today. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, we got to talk about Marathon again. And we got GTA 6 leaks. We got Project Sunrise. Lots of spicy stuff out there, gamers. Lots of spicy stuff. Good times, zombie inside, yes. What up, everybody? KBG's here. Lardy, what up? Welcome on in. If you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, we got Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter are the platforms we're streaming on. Appreciate you clicking on the notification, clicking on the stream. Oh boy, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but my God. This is truly the darkest day ever for Marathon. Sub 1,000 players is crazy work, dude. That's brutal. What's good, Brendo? How's it going? Crazy. Absolutely insanity, man. Let's do this. Oh no, that means that. I think I messed up my let me see, I gotta fix my thing here. What is this? This is a source. Yes, this is a source. Source visibility. Good. Let's put this on scene, main, source. Cap card. Source. Okay, perfect. All right, so that should be that. Yes, good. All right. Still about a month till season 3. Yeah, we all knew it was coming. We did know it was coming. We talked about it previously, but it still doesn't lessen the sting anymore, right? And my main focus on this in terms of commentary in today's video is mostly, it's not really to beat a dead horse and not really to point and laugh so much as it is to try to give a message that is, we got to get locked in here on something that can actually make some money, Bungie. Because obviously Marathon's not it. Marathon's not making any money. So when are we pulling the trigger on something Destiny related? And how, if even? I feel like it's Destiny or die for Bungie. Hope you're having a good day. We are, Clayton. We're having a great day. That's almost all the laid off employees just playing. Yeah, truly. They had much more than people who got laid off, that's for sure. All right, we're going to load into Destiny 2 first. I am going to try my solo flawless luck in the hardest dungeon there is, and then we're going to jump into most of the news. I just want to give it the old college try before I get too entrenched in the news warfare that is Marathon right now. If you don't know, we're trying to solo flawless all the dungeons, and I've got 9 out of 11 now. Sadly, I don't think it is a Bungie decision anymore. It might not be a Bungie decision in regards to what games to produce. I would envision that they don't really get the option. So it's probably out of their hands. But if it's out of their hands, right? Let's say it's out of Bungie's hands in terms of, you know, making a Destiny project or something, right? I still think the better outcome is to end the Marathon project as quickly as possible, because I think the optics of this really kind of shine a light on the ugliest side of Bungie we've ever seen, if that makes sense. Like, Bungie doesn't look like this prestigious company anymore, this like these legends that made the greatest shooter games ever, right? Like, Bungie with the optics of Marathon kind of looks like a bunch of losers, you know? And you know, it's like, it's a tough situation where, you know, if they keep this going, they're kind of going to lose everyone and everything, right? Kind of want to, you want to cut it off quickly so that way you can like say, okay, that was a failed project. All right, we're going to work on something else. Or, you know, we don't want to be remembered just for this last final fart of a project, right? So I think it's better to cut it off sooner rather than later, because it feels like the PR that's surrounding Marathon is truly dragging Bungie's names to depths lower than anyone could ever imagine, right? Like, it's crazy to even think about that Bungie would be perceived in the game. They went from being perceived in the gaming pantheon as one of the greatest companies ever to arguably the worst gaming company in the history of all gaming. You know, like that's an insane turnaround. And we gotta we gotta pull the ripcord of slowing this shit down fast, dude. We gotta slow this narrative down quickly. You know, let's assess the issue here. Someone said all dungeons except Equilibrium are farmable for the exotic drops. Yes. Is Icebreaker bugged or extremely low drop chance? I don't know about that. Sub 1,000 and about a month till season 3 game is beyond cooked. That's what I'm saying, Clayton. We're going to talk about it all day. Well, not all day, but in one video, we're going to talk about it. So feel free to weigh in your thoughts as we do this. I'm going to run this real quick. If you don't know, I set out a mission. I don't know why I even set out to do this, but I set out a mission to solo flawless all the dungeons as one last hurrah of challenge in the game. It's one of my favorite challenges are these dungeons. So I did this to myself. And now we got to finish what we started, which is solo flawlessing Vespers. Solo Flawless, the most evil dungeon Bungie ever made. Vespers host, my god. This is the definition of insanity. Between the exploder shanks, the lightning strikes, just everything. This one is tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I know there's probably speedrunners out there that have speedrun this thing into the ground and are laughing hysterically, but if you don't play this dungeon a lot, or if you try to solo flawless it, this thing's tough. This is the toughest one, that's for sure. Still playing that dead game, bro? Get on some Modern Warfare 4. Hold up. Let me check out how Modern Warfare 4 is doing on Steam right now. I was playing War Dogs yesterday, if you didn't see the stream. It was really good. If you want to go watch the VOD, I didn't post the video yet, but I made an entire video about it. It's going to go up on the Red channel. These guys be hurting today. Golly. Destiny 2 views low? I mean, I don't really care much about the viewership. I'm trying to, like, just entertain the people that want to watch the stream. You know, we could be playing War Dogs, we could be playing, you know, Minecraft. Doesn't really matter to me, the viewership, if that makes sense. It's also like, if you play games or stream games entirely for viewership, are you even, like, a real person? You're like a caricature of a capitalist, you know? The bottom middle is the wrong one. Yeah, bro, I only stream games that get crazy views. If the stream doesn't get crazy views, then I just fucking end it, dude, immediately. If there isn't at least 10,000 people watching me, then I'm just not even fucking playing, dude. Just fucking waste my time. Like, think about the argument being made here. Really what every stream should always be, if possible. It's not perfect, and it's different for everyone, but every stream should always be whatever the streamer enjoys the most, right? Like, think about that. Kind of common sense, but if you think about it, would you want someone to stream something they don't really like that much or aren't having as much fun with? Or would you like them to stream the thing that they are having fun with? The answer's pretty obvious, but... Unless it's Hello Kitty Adventure Island, yeah, true. I think there's a certain, maybe romanticism online about being a variety streamer where you're like, oh my god, like a freaking wet dream for everyone. We're like, how insane would it be if every day I played a new game and it was just so much fun and so exciting and so crazy and so awesome and epic. It's like, I guess, I mean... But it's like, at what point do you stop that, right? Like, imagine you're like, every day I'm gonna play a new game. Why not 2 games every day? Why not 3 games a day? Why not a new game every hour and play for 10 hours, 10 games a day? Why not a new game every 10 minutes? There's a certain point where it's like, are you even playing for the enjoyment, or are you just playing to, like, multiply the maximum number of games played? You know? I know it's a silly analogy being brought up because I don't think anyone has ever actually tried that, but it serves a good point of like, oh yeah, like you definitely should just like play the thing that you have fun playing, whatever that is. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. Let me do this real quick. Oh, I gotta be careful not to shoot the wrong one. 1, 3, 4, 5. What do you think about the Marathon bot making $4,000 a month rage baiting on Twitter? Who's paying them $4,000 a month? What the heck? This sounds like an absurd story. Sounds like a story too good to be true. Fuck, dude, if I got paid $4,000 a month, I'll be shilling on Marathon too. What the fuck are you talking about? A bot? Dude, you didn't have to pay a bot to do that. You pay me to do that. I will do that. Dude, I always said I love Marathon. Everyone knows that, dude. Stop shooting me in the fucking back. Everyone knows that I love Marathon. You've seen the videos. Okay. Where's my $4,000? I want it to be paid in, I want to be paid in crypto. I want to be paid in meme coin. This is not absurd. It's confirmed and researched by Calca. He sent you all the screenshots. Interesting. I'm definitely interested in seeing what this is about. I will say that it does seem a bit unusual. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who would be paying the $4,000, right? Like, let's just be... Where does this money come from? Like, you were assuming Bungie is paying it, I imagine? Because I could easily see there being a bot on Twitter that says things, right? I can see there being a bot on Twitter that says things that are, you know, I don't know, pro marathon. That's a thing. But then I think the biggest issue is connecting it to, like, how is it getting paid and by who? 6, 5, 1, and 2. Oh, it's a person doing it? Are they getting paid by Twitter from, like, Twitter impressions? That's actually insane. That's not even... That's a Galaxy Brain, if that guy's making that much money. That's incredible. So they create a bot, and the bot shills for Marathon on Twitter, and then everyone comments and talks shit to them, basically rage baiting people on Twitter, and then they get insane numbers of impressions because everyone wants to talk about everyone wants to talk about Marathon on Twitter respectively. So then they're making $4,000 a month from Twitter ads, Twitter impression revenue. This is an incredible... Why didn't we think of this? What the hell? Hold up. New side hustle unlocked? Rage baiting the marathonians of Twitter? The blasters will be very upset when they hear this. The blasters will be not happy to have this revelation made before them. That was the best hammer ever thrown. They posted the receipts of it. Interesting. Well, we'll do some investigating. All right. Got 2, 3, 4, 6. 2, 3, 4, 6. We shall deep dive into the conspiracy theories of Marathon. 2, 3, 4. I believe for Project Sunrise, they are now able to have 2 characters connect to each other as well. But I did not read the post. Interesting. So we get some multiplayer features turned on. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Love to see it. I kind of wish the Destiny project was almost like a community-driven thing altogether. Because I feel like Bungie kind of gave us the vision with the how do I describe it? The blueprint of what Destiny is, but they kind of fumbled the bag with like how to manage this thing and how to maintain its profitability. But because it's such an interesting blueprint, like I think I've talked about this many times recently, but I think that the blueprint of what Destiny is, like 20 years from now, people will look at Destiny and be like, man, that game was really ahead of its time. It did what? It did this, and that? Like, wow. People will sorely miss Destiny in the future. Or they'll wish for a game like that to actually exist. So for those reasons, like a community-driven... oh, here we go. Community-driven game. Destiny would be fascinating to me. No, sir. No, sir. Not getting me. Radiation poisoning. Would you like go somewhere else? Like you're spawn camping, bruh. Hey. Like, what are we even doing? No, we're not doing that. Where is the captain? Oh, there he is. Boom. When it came out, I'd never seen it like it before because the planets feature blew my mind that I got to walk wherever I wanted to. I know. You know what someone said on Reddit the other day? I was like, that's kind of crazy. They said, are the other parts of the planet just, like, actually hell, or are we just lazy? I was dying laughing. Like, you know how we go to, like, Earth, but we go to a very particular part of Earth? And then we, like, don't go to the other areas? It's like, is that because, like, these areas are just, like, hell, or what? Made me laugh. And I'm sure there's just, like, technical limitations. You couldn't possibly make it fully open world, I guess. I mean, I don't know. With, what is that called? Procedural generation or whatever that is? Maybe. That would be so sick, though. Could you imagine? Dude! Oh my god, I just had the most evil idea of, like... It's, like, so unfair to even think of this idea, but... Imagine if, like, the EDZ was, like, actually... the whole Earth or something, and you played Destiny on it like that, like you got on your Sparrow and like traveled the whole world. This is the Destiny I want to live in. Yeah, GTA style, like really massive open world. Obviously, we could barely keep the budget for this game, so. Can you imagine if there was just, like, patrol events across the globe? That would be, like, the dream. That's, like, Destiny 10, dude. That's, like, so far in the future. I feel like it's interesting thinking about these things because it's pretty obvious where video games are going. Even if we try to pretend like, oh, there's all these new things coming out. It's like, alright, sure, but like, you know, where games are obviously going is like bigger open world games. The whole world. Can you imagine one day when there's GTA and it's not just Florida like GTA 6? It's just GTA World. The whole world. That's gonna be crazy. One day. Probably not in our lifetime though. At this rate. Maybe some advanced technologies. Oh no, meatballs. Oops, not what I wanted to do. I guess that works. Yo, new expert lost sectors are available. Hold up. Let me just put a pause on this solo flawless real quick. This is big. Fly a fighter jet. Dude, can you imagine? I hate that integration mechanic. That's such an obnoxious mechanic. So you have to hide behind something, and then when you're hiding behind something, other things come up to you, the exploder shanks, and so it's just, it's fine. It's a good push-pull mechanic, but man, it is infuriating when those exploder shanks get you. Like, I had to hide, and then I can't hide. You have to hide, but you also can't hide. 9, 4. 9 and 4. 9 and 4. Nine and 4. Nine and 4. Peeking the right side there is a really good strat. Then you don't have to deal with like them coming up in front of you. That's I learned that after dying to the shanks multiple times. Unfortunately, I wish I learned that faster. Then I would have already cleared this many instances ago. Nine and 4 and 1 and 7. 9, 4, 1, 7. One, 9, 7, 4. I wasted my super a little bit. Yep, scuffed it up. That's on me. I kind of like floated across the side, and I needed to not do that. Rough, but I still can pull it off in 2 phases, but I have to do the next one proper. Alright, so we got 9, 1. 9, 1. Nine and 1. Eight, 4. 9, 1, 8, 4. 9, 1, 8, 4. Nine, 1, 8, 4. Oh, man. If I didn't whiff that first phase, oh, God, that's cruel. Oh, man, that is absolutely... What the fuck? Oh, what? It's still going? What the fuck? What? What happened? The shields came up and then they went down? I'm so confused. What happened? Am I hacking? I'm hacking. I was like, ah, man, it's over, dude. That sucks. When the shields came up. And then I looked over and the shields were down. I was like, wait a second. Or I looked over and the meatballs were still there. I'm like, you guys aren't supposed to be here. Yo, 2-phase, let's go. We got it done. I'll take it. As absurd as that was, I'll take it. I think what's supposed to happen is that the little meatball guys die and then it extends the damage phase. So I guess somehow the shield came up and one of them died anyways. So then it brought the shields back down and extended the phase. I'm assuming that's what happened there. Whatever. I'm happy about it. I wanted the 2-phase. I scuffed up the first one, so that works for me. Excellent strafe, bro. Gives me here. I want Sunfire Furnace is what I want. Oh shit! Forgot about this. I thought I was walking into the other door. Oh my god, I could have died right there. That would have been so heartbreaking. Jesus Christ. Hey. The lightning is too damn hard. I feel like the lightning mechanic as a whole doesn't even make that much. Like, it really doesn't even make much sense. These spots randomly spawn, and if you're standing in them, you die, so you have to move, but then it's also like, it's just not visually apparent enough if you're going to die, basically. This is really the problem. Yeah, videos coming out on the Red channel. We play on War Dogs. It was awesome. Game was fun. Dope, dope, dope. No, 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 yes. Alright, ones it is. Start over here. One. One. Huge. Can't seem to ever get my second super back. One buff it is. Alright, so far so good. I'm thinking I'd probably get it done in 4 phases at this rate. Hoping. 5th phase would be kind of obnoxious. We're shooting for 4. Is less than ideal. Set. Yeah, it looked like a pretty solid 4-phase at this stage. Twos it is. Two. 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 Alright, one more time. One more time. Had I really been cranking, I really think I could have gotten it in 3 phases. Had I, like, maybe loadout swapped or something, I'm not sure. But I'm okay with this. Ones it is. I feel like I got kind of chill RNG on this one. Didn't have to like swap sides too much and stuff. I just did the same thing 4 times. Very little variance. WRNG. Okay. Only got 7 sleeper shots. Where'd that damn power ammo at? RNG ran out, dude. I gotta get my melee energy back. Come on, come on. Alright, that's 1 orb. That didn't give me an orb? That's kind of awkward. Wait for about 5 seconds here. Trying to get an orb from that. I did get an orb from that. Got an orb from that. That's good. Got 9 sleeper shots. It's no bueno, senor. Sunfire Furnace times 7. Oh, good Lord in heaven above. I am trying to throw. I'm doing everything I can in my power to throw this run, apparently. Alright, we did it. Ah, oh, thank God, Vespers is dying. Oh my God, I never want to come back here again. I hate you. I hate you. You're the worst. Why are you like this? I hate you. I don't even know what you are, but I hate you. Ah. Nice. Let's go! No, the last one I have to solo is the last one I solo is Equilibrium, which is the one that's the newest one. I was doing them all in chronological order, except I did skip. I replaced the order of the last two. So that was dungeon number 9. So that was 9, and that is Vesper. That was exactly 1 hour on the dot. That's crazy. GG's, congrats, well played. Thank you. Thank you, Zombie Inside. Thank you, everyone. Yes. I got to cover some news stories, and then we'll give it a try to Equilibrium. I think I could probably do Equilibrium first try. I'm not sure, though. I kind of forget some of the details, but it probably doesn't matter that much. It probably doesn't matter that much. Probably get it done anyways. I don't know what I would shoot at the boss, though. It's good hot cosmos. I have I've solo flawlessed all of them before. I've done every dungeon in the game. This one was the hardest one, though, in my opinion. All right, let's get out of here. Let's turn this off. Let's oh wait, I turned off the camera. Wrong one. Turned on the wrong thing. We'll come back and do the other one in just a minute. I just want to cover some news stories, some spicy news stories out there. All right. It's time to talk about everyone's favorite game to talk about. That is Martin. We got to talk about this because everyone was mentioning it in the chat. Well, it happened. Marathon has now hit below 1,000 players during its low peaks. Less than 1K people playing on Steam. That's incredible. Incredibly bad, of course. Ironically, there's been more devs laid off than people playing the game during this hour. Also, ironically, I may have made more videos talking about Marathon than people actually playing the game right now. It's brutal. Someone said RIP Mylan. God damn it, Mylan. He got thrown into the middle of this. He's an innocent bystander in this war. This is tough, man. And you know why it's tough? It's not because we're here to rage bait people and talk about the charts again and again and again. I know, guys. There'll be plenty of comments saying, "Lucky, let it go." All right. The reason why it's tough is because I want to see Bungie make cool shit like they did with Destiny, right? I want that from them so badly. And unfortunately, we just have this nightmare, hellish situation where they are full committed to this goof ass project. And it is just such a flop, dude. And I think the worst thing about it is that there clearly is a contingency plan, right? Like we can all agree with this. Like this is not as intended. So because there's this contingency plan where Bungie is allowed to develop this game for 5 seasons, no matter what, right? And this is not confirmed, by the way. This is just suspicions based on their communication. Because of this contingency plan, we see this continuous effort put into this game beyond its life, beyond its what it deserves, right? Like Destiny 2 died and it deserved so much more. We deserved Shattered Cycle. We deserved The Alchemist. We deserved to finish the Fate Saga. Marathon does not deserve to have another ounce of energy put into it, and yet it still goes. It still goes on. And to the joy of r/marathon hate, they're dancing, dude. This might be the magnum opus event for r/marathon hate. This meme right here, does anyone remember this? Everyone kept posting this when people were sharing the Steam charts back in the day. Marathon is losing a lot of players by the day. Okay, literally nobody cares. Guy standing here puts his thumbs up, you know, and the guy would say something like, "Have you seen the Steam charts?" And then they go, "LOL," and then there's just one person by themselves. Oh, man. The whole joke was supposed to be that Marathon players are still having fun, so it doesn't matter what people are critiquing. But it's not the case when there's no one online, right? Which is, like we said before many times, that Marathon's a multiplayer game. It needs to be popular. Multiplayer games need to be popular. Not wildly popular. They don't have to be Fortnite peak, but they have to be popular enough that you find regular matches, that you queue with people in your region, so that way you have decent latency. You don't want to be matching with someone across the world from you, because then the matches are going to be rubber bandy and there's going to be no reg stuff like we've seen before, and just countless issues. Queue times are going to go up the roof, right? So multiplayer games have to be popular, period. There's no exception to this. The only bit of nuance in this at all is that some games can also have PvE modes or single player experiences where you don't necessarily need them to be popular. And that was a game like Destiny. Ironically, Destiny had, if you didn't have friends to play Destiny with, you could play tons of stuff, but not the case with Marathon, unfortunately. We're now reaching the acceptance stage of grief. Okay, this is a post. They said, maybe empty lobbies are a good thing in Marathon. Maybe it's a good thing. Hear me out. As a player in Asia, I've experienced many empty or sparsely populated lobbies in the past few weeks. If you don't know, there's different geographical regions for the servers, and Asia is usually the least popular one. There's just not quite as many people, especially from North American made games. They're going to be most popular in North America. Obviously, it depends on the game you're playing to some degree, but generally, there's a trend with that. And so, when you look at the population charts and you see that, sub 1,000, that 900 people online, that's usually during the peak playing hours for people in that server, but not in America. It's usually like 3 a.m. in America when there's really not anyone online except the crazy people. Or people that work graveyard shift or something, I guess. But Every game, my team is either the only one on the map or there's one other team. For many players, this is a bad thing since Marathon is primarily a PvP game. And this is how I felt too. But recently I've been thinking that maybe it's a good thing. Oh God, here comes the psyop, dude. Recently I've been thinking that, because there's no one on the map at all, that means that I get to have all the best loot and gear up as fast as possible. This is kind of like the thought process of this is like, imagine going into a raid and the raid boss just wasn't there. And so you just walked up, looked around, and then just like walked up to the chest and grabbed the loot, right? Some of you in Destiny, I know you cheesy sons of bitches. I know some of you would love that. You'd be like, hey, look, I'm not complaining, but ultimately you'd get tired of it, right? Like if you just loaded into the Vault of Glass and you just ran through the environment and just collected the chests and did not engage in any enemies or bosses, it would feel weird. It would be pointless. Like the whole point is the challenge. The whole point is the bosses and the enemies and the encounter itself. And yeah, once in a while you'll find a cheese where you can bypass that stuff and we'll take advantage of it, I am guilty of doing this many times, okay? I did throw I threw solar grenades at the Templar's feet. I admit it. But you don't want that to be the norm, right? You don't want that to be every day. And that's what Marathon's turned into. And there's a month left of this season as well. A month. So another month. It's going to get worse. Can you imagine how low the Marathon population is going to be before the new season launch? Be like 500 people online. Maybe only having 1 to 3 teams per map is actually okay and helps solve many of the complaints players have. One of the biggest criticisms I've seen is that Marathon's maps are too small compared to other extraction shooters. Having fewer teams makes the map effectively bigger. If all maps had a maximum of 3 teams, PvP would still be a constant threat, but we'd actually have room to breathe. The game would be less like a battle royale or deathmatch because there's more space and you're likely to run into other players. Being third-partied would be far less of a risk. Gone would be the days when the entire lobby slam into each other and the last team there wins almost by chance. At the same time, 2 fights per run is still enough action, and combined with PvE, if the loot was good, would still provide plenty of excitement. Less is more. Less is more. Someone said, to all the Marathon players coming here to insult and cry, thank you for giving this sub a purpose. It's because of you taking the bait so easily, we have this glorious content to enjoy. Keep it coming. Oh, God. Oh, no. Someone said, what happened, Bungie? What is this, Halo? Oh, no. Halo, at one point in time, someone screenshotted 1,080,888 gamers online. And now playing right now, 900 people. Oh, no. This is absolutely brutal. Oh, man. How did you go from a game with 1 million people online to 900? Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. Marathon 2026 is selling less than Black Ops Cold War 2020. Oh, God. Marathon is the 912th best-selling game on Steam. 912. Dear God. We're getting beat out by everything. According to Sony, Marathon is doing great, though. Remember that. Yes, very high retention, according to the Sony higher-ups, which just goes to show you that Sony and these suits and the corporate side of things, they're trying to deceive people, right? And they can do so in a way that's like, it's kind of like some lawyer-level deception, if that makes sense. They're not technically lying, because they're just intentionally being vague and talking about an obscure statistic within a very niche group of Marathon players. So that's where they get away with it. But it kind of shows the integrity of the company that is Sony, right? Like when you're willing to say that this game with less than 1,000 players has high retention, what are the limits to which, how far you will lie, right? Like, how far will you go for the lie? And that's why people aren't trusting them. People aren't the biggest Sony fans as of lately, and it sucks to see their reputation go down. Bungie's reputation obviously going down as well, as they're owned by them. It's a brutal time right now. And I kind of wish these companies would realize that in this like information age with like the amount of technology and data we have now, that people, there are still people that are gullible for sure and will buy it and believe it. But a large portion of people are informing themselves now and can kind of peek through the curtain and see what's really going on, right? No one that is a critical thinker that's above 50 IQ believes that Marathon is doing okay. Just no one. There's just, you have to be an outlier. You have to be exceptionally stupid to believe that Marathon is doing okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, blast havers from all around the world, welcome to sub 1K lows. Oh no. Oh no. Oh God, the screenshots, they're everywhere. Trippity, them old triple digits. The tags that people get on this Marathon Reddit, the r/Marathon hate, his tag says pro Bungie hater before you were a twinkle in your dad's eye. These tags are so funny to me, dude. The prophecy has been fulfilled. No. They're preying on its downfall, dude. 17 people, please log off. Oh, God. Jesus H. Christ, dude. Will Marathon players see the light? So much engagement. 422 people playing Marathon on stream. Oh, man. Our favorite Craig does not approve of enjoying Steam charts. Containment unit needed due to all the blasts I'm having. What is going on right here? This guy says, it's hard to wrap my mind around the fact that it's 10 a.m. on the East Coast and over half of the players that will be logging on today to play Marathon are already playing, and that only another 1,000 to 1,500 players will be logging on at the same time the rest of the day, assuming the trend of the past 2 days continues. It's also wild that with this few of players that the game will most likely won't go below 1K concurrent players at its lowest playtime. Is there really a small hardcore dedicated group that is logged on or playing nonstop? Or are we looking at bot accounts? Oh, God, bots. I don't know, man. There might be bots. We were just talking about some bot conspiracy that might be true about someone making money off of essentially the theory, and there's some evidence to support it. The theory was that there's a bot that was created to rage bait people about Marathon, and it's generating around $4,000 a month from impressions on Twitter alone. So it's pretty crazy. We'll go through that in a separate video, so make sure you're subscribed. Oh, good Lord. They were predicting it. 3 digits will happen in 2 hours. This guy, you are all legitimately terrible people. Sorry if this offends, But you people are fucking garbage individuals. Cheering at a game failing that other people like? Calling us meritards? Oh god, who said that? Laughing when the population goes lower and lower? That's a sign of just a terrible person in society. You have fucking zero empathy. All you care about is your own self. You have nothing positive to offer society. I bet you have no loved ones or people that give a shit about you. You all need to evaluate yourselves. Touch grass. Oh no. They're coming after us. Guys, that 3-digit Steam low from today really hurt you, didn't it? What I find funny about this is the incredible crash out over a video game, guys. A video game. Like, come on. Bruh. It's a game. And clearly not a very good one. People have been criticizing games since the dawn of games, right? We've been talking about them. This game's good, that game's bad, this game sucks, this game's awesome, this game was really good, and then they did this, and then it ruined it. This discourse is never going to end. Not just for Marathon, but for all games, really. And it's not always negative because not all games are as bad as Marathon. And that's just the way it is. And you can love that, hate it, it's fine. But it doesn't make people bad for talking about Marathon and kind of enjoying. It's almost like, it's hard to describe it because it's multifaceted, but it's almost like enjoying Bungie's, not necessarily destruction, but enjoying them like getting a taste of their own medicine, if that makes sense, right? It's like their own corporate greed, their own bad decision making, their heads up their asses, finally caught up with them. And it's like this gratifying moment for a good amount of Destiny players watching them lose, right? And for some people, it's petty, for sure. It definitely is. Maybe even a good majority of people in r/marathonate. For a lot of people, it's justice, right? They want Bungie to feel the grief and the frustrations that they had for Destiny dying. And for others, there's various reasons and ideas and thoughts and feelings that go into it all. But at the end of the day, it is just a game, right? There's many games that have come out and died as well. Marathon is just on the list of many other ones, Destiny 2 included, unfortunately, right? So don't let it hurt you or offend you that people are kind of laughing at the downfall of it, but enjoy the game for what it is while it is. Like, while the game is here to play, I'd play it because clearly not that many people are, and you don't have much time left before the game is probably taken down, right? Someone said, we have a new coat, Blasters. Now it's Paul Tassie's fault that Marathon is failing because he's grifting by giving his honest thoughts about the game. Marathon players will blame everything but the gameplay or design of Marathon. Laugh mask off. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. Marathon is losing in the charts to Bungie Fisher demo. The Bungie Fisher demo, not even the real full game, just a demo of a game, is clearing Marathon's population. Incredible. Well, I think that's about it. Oh, God. How long will it take to connect? How long will it take to win at Connect 4 Blasters? Oh, no. Oh, good Lord. So bad. So bad. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. It's multifactorial. That's what I'm saying, Corey. It is multifactorial. That's a big word, and we like to use big words around here, okay? Big words around here. Big ones. What's the biggest word you know, chat? Think about that. I'm going to use nothing but big words in the next video. All right. Let's see what other news stories we got here. This is a more positive news note here. A more positive news note here. Let's lock in, chat. From the leaks, the nude beach. Yeah, I guess I'll do that one real quick. I'll do that one. I'm imagining you sent that to me, or you want me to look it up from Paul Tassi? Let's see here. A new GTA 6 nudist town leak is stunning. It's a three-parter. Gotcha. I sent his response. He also made an article explaining it. Gotcha. I'm gonna get to that a little bit later, just because I don't think, like, initially people probably want more Destiny news stuff, so I try to cover the other news later, but I will get to that in a little bit. We're gonna cover this Project Sunrise stuff right now. I got it pulled up though, that article. All right, here we go. Here we go. Project Sunrise is making some massive advancements. And in today's video, we're going to give you a breakdown of everything that's happening. It's going fast though, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and we'll keep you updated day by day. Especially when this thing becomes like playable with multiplayer features, dude, that's when things are going to really kick off. We got Project Sunrise progress update from Jesus himself.
Hello everyone. I'm back today with the next update about Project Sunrise. Hopefully my mic is a bit better this time. So it's been a while since the last video, which was still before the public release. I meant to make a video a lot sooner updating on what's going on with Sunrise, but sadly I was very busy and didn't find the time. One of the test builds that I made actually got leaked, which is why the sudden release happened. I decided to push ahead with an early release instead of waiting, because I did not want that leaked test build to go around and maybe cause problems. I did not want to have people trying and selling it or distributing malware, which would probably have happened sooner or later. So I just decided to release the version that I currently had, which had some issues. Thankfully, everything went pretty well as far as I know, and we got everything kind of sorted. But this also means that the state that Sunrise was released in was not the intended state, and also I had a lot more to do the coming days, coming weeks, instead of focusing on just developing, which
What's interesting is, so when he releases it to us, can he like update it live, or does he have to like give a new iteration of it? It looks like he said Sunrise 0.3.2.0. This is going to be interesting. And it is, I'm imagining that Jesus's version here with Sunrise is like the main version. Are there going to be other variants? Be wary of potentially downloading some viruses if you're trying to get into this. Not from Jesus, but from other people, like he mentioned.
took away a little bit of time. But that's kind of besides the point. Today, I'm here to update you on what's going on with Sunrise and what's going to happen next. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has been involved in this project. It's been a very positive experience for me. And thanks to all the contributors, everyone who has made a good PR, who has dug out info and sent it over, or who has made good suggestions, bug reports, or helped in other ways. I'm very thankful. And also, thanks very much to everyone who has worked on Destiny 2 previously. Before I started this project, there was already a ton of useful information out there. And I want to thank everyone who was working on that for a long time. Definitely would have taken a lot longer and been a lot harder to make this possible without that. Now, on to the next thing, where we are at with Sunrise right now.
All right.
So
where are we at?
I've already said this probably a million times, but Sunrise initially was never even meant to be kind of in the public eye. It was always meant to be open source, but it was just kind of meant for me to experiment with the game and try to load into these old destinations that I'm so nostalgic about. But as it turns out, a lot of people were really interested in that topic. So as soon as I started sharing the first progress screenshots in some servers and asking for some stuff, a lot of people kept asking me, when can I play this? When can I try this? Please release it. So that's why the initial target changed from just me messing around, writing some code and getting into a world to actually releasing a mod can be installed standalone and that doesn't violate anything if I release it fully and that people can install and play with. Now the goalpost has moved again, and instead of this exploration mod, which we have mostly finished right now, we're going for a more complete implementation. Now, how complete will we ever get this?
Well, yeah, what does he mean by that?
I don't know. I honestly could not tell you, but I've been working hard the past weeks to get the initial scripting API laid out and kind of started working on it. The scripting will be here to enable the community to rescript every mission. Most of the assets are inside of the game, and there's a lot of client-side code that is there, but there is parts missing. The mission scripts are not there. They're only on the servers, and we do not have them. So we will need to put those together again from scratch completely, without any help, without anything that we can look at, except old videos. So what I'm working on right now is the tools and the scripting VM itself for the Sunrise. So you can write mission scripts in Lua and put the missions back into the game.
Wow.
I will not be recreating any missions myself. I'll leave that to others. Outside from some proof of concept and tutorials, I will not be working on that. But I will try to make the tools as easy as possible to use for everyone else. At this point, I also want to point out that thanks to a lot...
Jesus is out here literally doing it. He's giving us the tools to remake the missions from the sunset version of Destiny 2. Jesus is turning me into a believer right now. God damn.
Of contributors, we have gotten a lot more of the investment or inventory logic working. As you can see, I can go into my inventory and switch stuff around. It's a different weapon. And right now this is still very limited in the current build. but there's a lot of PRs open to get all these other pages working again. Once we get this to a point where everything works close to fully, there will also be a persistent save file that actually saves the changes that you make instead of being loaded from the config, which is quite an easy change. The reason I haven't done it yet is because it's harder to edit than a normal JSON file. And so I want to make sure everything in-game actually works before I make that change. Once we get that far and some missions are working, it will also be possible to play some kind of single-player experience. Now, this is still weeks to months away, so don't get too excited, but we are slowly inching towards that goal.
Nice.
For my part, here's what I've been up to.
And Bungie couldn't do this? I call BS, says Sindroko. I mean, Bungie isn't Jesus, you know? Like, what are they? They're 1,000 people, you know, in Bellevue, Washington with a multi-million-dollar warehouse. Like, that's nothing compared to Jesus, dude. Jesus has a $10 mic. And, you know, where did... And he's a literal god, all right? Part of the Trinity. Ever heard of him? You know? Like, come on.
As you can see, I've been working on the activity host here, and I've been working on generating an SDK for the scripting. This means that all the information for every activity, for every destination, for every map will be extracted from the game into a form that you can then build script against to activate these behaviors. Right now, we're still in the early stages of this, and the scripting itself is not all there yet. But as you can see, I've also made some development tools to make this easier. For example, here I have enabled overlays for all the spawn anchors.
Yo, he's hacking. Get his ass.
It acts on
Battle
a
Eye.
radius, so it will show right now everything within 50 units of me. This is both for enemies and for friendly NPCs.
Yeah,
As you can see,
Devrim.
for example,
That's
I can go
Devrim.
up here and get vendor falling conflict. Now I can search this up.
No way,
and
he's
I
gonna
already
spawn
have
Devrim in.
the endpoint to spawn in this NPC.
He looks so creepy, dude. He just Devrim be like, he's just standing there, dude, with his NLB. Look at this creepy guy, dude. Look how dark he is. We got to make this like a haunted version.
Now, as you can see, animations and a bunch of other stuff is still missing, but the spawning itself, as well
He's
as the
talking, dude. He's saying some stuff.
voice lines, is already here. This is implemented through the network. This is not a client-side spawn like we've seen other people make. This is an accurate representation of what a real mission host or activity host would send to the client. It's a network interaction that causes the client to spawn in the character.
Dude. Yo, we're grabbing bounties. We're bounty farming again.
Right now, this is not working yet, but
Rip.
we also have a PR for
Psych.
that in progress.
You got pranked.
Now, I've showed this for the vendor NPC, but the same thing also goes for enemies as well. For example, let me go over here. Let's see what we have here. We got some
It's gonna be a
Business
goblin.
Simple Squad. Find that. Simple Squad.
Was
Which
it-
one was it?
This is the
Zero.
Shanks or the?
Okay.
No
Looks
way.
like I do not have the data for this ones.
Rip.
As I've said, some data is still missing. So this Business Simple Squad, don't have the data for that. Let's see what else this has. Business All Simple Squad. Also no data here. There is some here that I did have the data for, and that I know I can show off, which I think is from a public event or something like that. This is
You're about to spawn in the public event? Hold
SQ
up.
Servio. There we go.
No way.
And this was an enemy.
Yo. Can you shoot him?
with the correct parameters, name, everything. And
Shoot that guy.
this is also completely only through one network request. There's no kind of client modification to make this happen. This is all the intended way.
Dude, you can kill him. He takes damage. Yo, he's fighting him. This is a good battle. They'll write lore of this battle. But oh yeah. Wait, what happens? He dies, right? Nice.
As you can see, it also drops ammo.
No way, drops ammo.
So
And he's
pretty
got like
much
his
everything related to this is working already. The
what?
enemy AI is not 100% figured out yet. There is different stages and different behaviors there that I'm still reversing at the moment. And this is only the first step in making mission scripts possible. This, what I've shown here, is one API endpoint for the activity host scripts that lets it spawn in and monitor so-called squads in the world. We also have a list of squads, which is mostly complete. As you saw before, still missing a little bit of data on some of the enemies. But this list can also then be built as an SDK inside of the scripts. So you don't have to play with magic numbers, but you can actually use named squads, spawn them in, react to them, and so on. Now everything else is not figured out yet. This is the first step, but this is also the one that I was the least certain about. I was not quite sure how much of this is actually on the client or if there's anything that the physics host is required for. I'm still not 100% sure if we need some kind of physics host implementation for pathfinding and some of the enemy AI behavior, but I'm pretty certain now that we do not need a full simulation on the physics host, which is already a great step in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
Now, as for the next point, which I also wanted to talk about, is the multiplayer. Right now, everything that is happening here is completely offline, completely contained to your client.
Yo,
Even-
we're going multiplayer? Multiplayer is going to be a crazy advancement. Once we can play with other people in this, that's when shit gets really fun. Can you imagine when you get like a squad in here? Imagine you get like 12 people in this, and then you just start like spawning in all the enemies and like setting stuff up. That's when the like sandbox element and the multiplayer like fun of it will really ramp up fast.
The so-called server components, like the activity host, is running inside of your own client, which we have just added onto the client. As for multiplayer, there is no plans to ever have any kind of dedicated server or separate server for Sunrise. I'm 100% firm on this, as it gets into the territory of issues with licensing agreements, and this also opens the path for abuse for others to host servers with monetary incentives or pay to win, which I do not want to happen, as it could.
Yo, Lucky 10P's PvP server, $49.99, 2 easy payments, 1 complicated payment in order to get in. Come play Project Sunrise. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens when people don't play by the rules. Knowing the Destiny community, they're a bit of a wild group. I imagine that those respective projects would get shut down rather than the whole thing. But we'll see. You know, like here's the thing: we're dealing with the community that has been doing account recoveries since like day one, like 12 years of account recoveries. Bungie even implemented in their terms of service, you are not allowed to do account recoveries. And people still did them and got banned and got hacked. And remember when 70% of the cheaters that cleared Desert Perpetual, you know, were using account recovs and shit, right? Yeah, that's how bad it was. So it's that community that we have to trust to not exploit the servers for money. This is big trouble, boys. This is big trouble. Jesus is going to set us straight, though. Okay. He has spoken. He said no servers. We need to make like we need to write the stuff that Jesus says down so that way we can remember what we need to follow. It's almost like maybe we should like make like a commandments and like put them on some sort of like tablet or paper, and I'm trying to think of how we structure this whole thing. Maybe we like remind ourselves through like a group meeting every Sunday about like the things that Jesus said that were so important to follow in regards to Project Sunrise. I'm not sure, what would we call this?
Get the whole project shut down. I am, however, considering a peer-to-peer multiplayer architecture where you could join into your friend's world and play together with them in different missions, and then once you leave, go back to your own local single player. Everyone would have their own save file with their own progress, and you would just join to play missions or destinations together. That's, however, very far in the future, so I would be careful with getting excited about this as well.
So I said we're inventing religion now. Yes, this is where we're restructuring all of society around Destiny and Project Sunrise. Yes, exactly. Thou shalt not create thy PvP server. This is rule 1. Yes. Put your faith in Jesus and Project Sunrise. Yes.
While it certainly is technically possible, we need to be careful with how we make it happen so it's safe for everyone and also not breaking any kind of copyright. Now, something I also wanted to talk about, which has been a hot point of discussion in the last weeks,
Ooh, the hot part of the discussion. All right.
use of AI or large language models in the development of Sunrise.
Uh-oh. AI used in the development of Project Sunrise. Of course, these two would intersect, of course. And this is going to create a massive problem. Okay, well, our first commandment was thou shalt not make a PvP server. Our second commandment, thou shalt not use AI.
So my stance on AI overall is quite negative. I am someone who has always been very critical of AI and using AI, not only for environmental reasons and legal reasons or moral reasons, but also because it simply can be very easy for it to think for you and for you to forget or not learn how to do things.
This is where we're going to have a rift. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some people, we're going to have a split in the religion. Some people are going to protest this, the lack of AI usage. We'll call them the Protestants. And this sect will have its own variant interpretations of Jesus's videos on YouTube and his interpretation of AI. Some will say that he was maybe hesitant towards AI, but, you know, reluctant to use it at times, perhaps, if necessary. Others will take a very, you know, strict stance of thou shalt not use AI in the development of Sunrise. This is big drama right now.
I do, however, think that especially in software development, there is a very large valid use case for AI. In software development, we have already been using stuff like autocomplete for a long time. We have been copy pasting a lot of code from Stack Overflow and from documentation. And it's already always been the case that you still need to know what you're doing when pasting code together. Otherwise, you will get a bad result. And the same still holds true for AI. So I'm not.
See, it's not a clear stance. It's not as clear as thou shalt not use AI. There's some, you know, nuance here. There's some room for interpretation. This is going to be trouble. I think the only possible solution here is that Jesus himself can't make all the decisions. So perhaps he creates almost like a council of people, you know, like he'll hire people underneath him, maybe 12 people or something like that. And these people, these apostles will help deliver this message to others and help with the various different interpretations and the different paths that we'll go down and how we, you know, stay true to the original vision that Jesus had for us and for Project Sunrise. So that way we don't stray too far from the original message. This is important. This is good.
Against the use of AI in software development projects, but I'm very much against the use in creative projects like generating art or voice lines or videos, which I think should not be done. You can call this hypocritical
Thou shalt not use generative AI. Amen.
if you want, but I believe that the art in software development is always the architectural side, the bigger picture, and how things go together, and not the lines of code itself. So I think AI has a very much a valid use case here, which is also something that
He has spoken.
I think some other people would agree with. So the way AI was used in Sunrise is multiple. It was definitely used on a very large scale in reverse engineering. We used AI to help us understand the game's code and map out a lot of connections and a lot of things from the game's code, which would otherwise have taken months to do by hand. We have also used AI to help in writing code and refactoring code, but all the code is reviewed by someone, and we do make sure that there's at least some standard of quality. I know the code quality right now is
None of that AI slop code.
a bit lower than some are maybe used to in other projects, because it's a huge code base and a huge undertaking. There is some code that maybe could be better, could be a bit more transparent, and we're working on that on the side as well. But with how rapidly things are changing right now, there's not really a point in doing a huge review and refactor if half the code is going to be gone in a few weeks anyways and replaced by new code. So keep that in mind. I will also call out that you should always be responsible when using AI to help with code or write code, because this can cause you to produce unsafe code or code that is not of good quality. You should be able to understand what the AI does. You should be able to analyze the result and see for yourself if the quality is good and if it's safe.
Jesus has spoken. Second Opinions, chapter 3.
You should not use the AI to do something that you aren't capable of yourself. You can use it to speed up the process, but you shouldn't rely on it. I myself have extensive history in reverse engineering games. I've been reversing games for years at this point, and even before that, I have a long history in developing different kinds of software, working with different languages. So I do very much know what I'm doing here, and I can check and make sure the result is at least somewhat high quality. Now, moving on from that, I also want to talk about the current capabilities of Sunrise. So, as I've already showed you, we can
He's going to spawn in Banshee here, isn't he?
get some kind of debugging information here, which will show, for example, the different spawns for squads, which do have data in the game files already. And then, for example, I could search up the gunsmith here and spawn him in.
No shot. There he is.
This is exactly the same spawning as in the live game, which is caused by a mission script. Only difference, the animations are not live right now.
That's awesome. This is literally how God like made everything. God was just like wandering around and was just like, fuck it, dude, spawn in. Fucking, there's this guy. God's just like, enter script slash Adam slash Garden of Eden. This is how it began, dude. We're going back in time to the beginning, to the origin story.
We can also do the same for Zavala. Or I believe Shax. So
The creepy versions that
the
stand
first
there like
step
that are so funny to me.
for getting mission scripts running. Now the other capabilities that are being worked on right now is a full investment system, being able to switch stuff around in here, do everything as you would normally, all that kinds of stuff. As you can see in the current build, a lot of this is still
Dude,
not
this like that's like me and that's like me and all my tramps that I never collected.
functional, but all of that should come along pretty quickly because it's all kind of this.
Dude, wait a second. Can you go back? Can you spawn Cade? He is risen. He is risen. The resurrection of Cade. Some people debate whether or not it really happened, but it's about faith. I don't know if he can spawn Cade. He's like, pre-Beyond Light build, so like Cade died 2017. Maybe if they find the Cade model in the files, could you imagine? Imagine they bring Cade back. How crazy would that be?
Same system. And the last capability that we've already added is package mods, which is still very early in development. So I would
Dude,
not
he's going there.
care about that yet, unless you're very technically knowledgeable about this game. But we have
Dude.
already found ways to unpack packages, edit stuff, repack them, generate patches, and so on.
Imagine he just went back here and just straight resurrected Cade. Yeah, Cade would have died like September 2018 in the game, and this is like after that. But then he also came back in the Pale Heart. But then they also have the Tangled Shore? Question mark? I don't know if Cade was ever on the Tangled Shore though. In terms of like NPC style.
There will be a modding support for the game in the future, but right now it's mainly just for testing and playing around with
Modding the
figuring
game.
things out. So let's talk about goals for Sunrise. As I've already said, our goal has shifted once again, and we're aiming for a more complete experience.
Okay, yeah. So now we're getting into the area of the goals of like the future of Project Sunrise. So this will be like a future statement of where it's supposed to go. What everything that was said before this, we're going to categorize as like an old statement or an old testimony, like the Old Testament of Jesus. And then from here on, we're going to be talking about the New Testament. So the future, where we go forward from here.
The picture that I have is that in a few months that we'll have somewhat complete mission scripting support. What this means is that for every activity, for every destination in the game, we will have an SDK that's automatically generated from the game files that contains all the data of that mission, which allows you to write a Lua script to recreate the functionality of that mission.
Nice.
Either like the original or in your own way.
We're bringing the missions back.
We will then try to create a repository of all the missions that people have recreated and merge it into the main Sunrise, while custom missions would stay as extra mods. The other thing I am envisioning in maybe a couple more months would be a peer-to-peer architecture where you can join your friends and play these missions together.
The prophecy of Jesus, he has spoken.
This is, however, still very far out, and there could be unknown roadblocks or other things that hold it up or make it impossible. So do not get too excited, but this is what I'm aiming for personally. I also do want to have a quick word with you about how this project has been going so far. I have personally spent the last month or around that basically working on this project every second of free time that I had, and I will continue working on it a lot, but I do have other commitments. So
This is our sacrificial savior, giving us all of his free time to make this and deliver us from boredom, deliver us our sunset content, forgiving Bungie of their transgressions, forgiving Bungie of the sins of their past, so that we could experience the content we paid for.
So my involvement will slow down a little bit. Instead of spending maybe 16 hours on my Sunday working on this project, I will maybe only
On
spend
Sunday? 16 hours on Sunday?
10 or 12 and play some games with my friends in the other 4 hours, or take care of some stuff that I should be taking care of outside of the game. So
So basically, Jesus needs a rest day. He can't just be grinding on this 7 days a week. He's going to establish a very particular day of rest, and it would seem as though that day will be on Sunday. On the rest of the week, we will work and, be fruitful and make progress, but we will take a day of rest.
expect progress from me to slow down a little bit over the next weeks, but I'm definitely not going to stop working on it. Aside from that, as you know, the AI usage in this project is also quite heavy, so I have spent this month around 500 euros on the project out of my own
Damn.
pocket. There is no kind of investment or goals for the project. None of us have any kind of promise that we bring to you. We're not collecting money for anything, and I will never do that. I believe that we cannot.
What if we passed around a small basket and we collected money for Jesus so that he could then fund his efforts in developing us Project Sunrise? What if we did it with cash? So that way, for tax purposes, it didn't have to be written down.
Guarantee anything with this project. We can only guarantee what we've already provided, and I don't.
Is there two commanders of Allahs over this? I'm sorry, I was like, wait a second. What am I looking at? There's just two commanders of Allahs hanging out over there. That's not canon. What is happening?
think it's fair to ask money for something like this. I truly believe that making open source software is the way to go, giving it to everyone free of charge. And if someone else wants to do something more with that, they are free to do so.
There it is. Jesus has spoken. He is not going to use this for his own profit. He is doing this out of the kindness and the love that is in his heart. And to be fair, if someone did try to rake in some money from this project, it would probably progress way faster. Like, especially imagine if you had like a team of people. Imagine if there was a Kickstarter and it was funding a group of people that were doing this, even if it was just like 3 or 4 people. That would be incredible, the progress rate. But the issue is that you have to deal with the legality of, you know, money being put into this thing, and then potentially Sony comes knocking on your door, right? You're almost like remaking Bungie, but from a community-driven side in some ways. So I could imagine it will be problematic if it goes that route. It's very tantalizing, though. It's, you know, it's almost like the origin of sin, basically, right? Like, we know that Project Sunrise will make progress at a very slow rate. But if we feed into our greed, if we allow community funding, this thing will reach new heights so fast. So do we reach for the apple and take a bite and enjoy Project Sunrise and play the Red War campaign that was stolen from us? Or do we go the honest route and let people slowly, day by day, build the code out in ethical ways? This is the dilemma that we have right now.
I do, however, have personal expenses, and aside from this project, just as an open source developer, I do have some ways to support me personally, which will also be linked in the description. I don't want to push on this too much, and it's up to your own discretion. You don't have to give me anything, and the project will always be available for free and open source for everyone. I also want to mention here about the usage of AI.
No comment right now.
That I believe we're definitely inside of an AI bubble or AI boom right now. These prices, as I've said, around 500 euros of AI usage for this month, has given me a true API cost or token cost in the tens of thousands, which is insane to think about. This company is spending thousands upon thousands so that I can use the AI for a few hundred. And I don't believe that this is a sustainable business model. And I think prices will hike up very extremely over the next months or years. Nobody can really say when, but that's just my personal opinion. So once that happens, we'll also have progress slow down, of course, because we can't use AI that easily anymore. But I believe there's still some time until this happens. I truly believe we are in kind of a golden age with the large language models right now, how cheap it is to use. So we will see what happens with that. And that's about it. If you have any further questions about the direction of Sunrise or how you can contribute, feel free to join the Discord, also down in the description. If you need a tutorial on how to install Sunrise, there will also be a link in the description for a video Bresci made, which I think is quite good. If you want to support me, you can also like the video, subscribe, and put a star on the GitHub repository. That shows that people care, and it helps me feed the video to more people so we can reduce the spread of misinformation about the project. All right. I will see everyone in the next update.
All right, there it is. That is Jesus giving us a comprehensive update on Project Sunrise. I think that I like this project. I like its direction, and it's understandable that it's going to cost money to develop a project like this. Like, obviously, it costs Bungie God knows how much money, right? We know that Marathon is estimated to cost Sony around $6 million a month. So you can only imagine that, you know, even on the smallest scale, like if you go reduce that down to just one person, literally Jesus, even he has to pay costs for, like I said, like different AI and whatever it is that he's using. So I think that the way that's being handled is ethical at this point in time and seems fair. That being said, you know, if someone does gain a ton of money off of this, right? This is like the recurring trend. We're coming full circle. You know, once money gets involved, you have issues of greed, right? You know, if someone profits a ton of money off of this and doesn't invest all of that money or that time and effort back into the project, then, you know, you basically have the rebirth of Pete the Witness Parsons, right? And hopefully we don't see anything like that. But as it stands right now, I do think this project is heading in the right direction. And I'm excited to see what Jesus comes up with next. And let me know what you think down in the comment section below. All right. So cool. Yeah, absolutely. Really cool. All right, I'll be right back, chat. Give me 1 second. I got to the bathroom, and then we're cooking up the next news story. Gunny with the Prime sub and Slim Shady. Thank you. W's in the chat for Slim Shady. W's in the chat for Gunny. How you doing, Slim? How high are the chance of a Destiny 3 announcement by Sony at Gamescom? Very little. There's a better chance that it's announced that Herman Holst is the person leaking all the GTA information. I'll be right back. And we're back. All right, welcome back, chats. Welcome back. All right, now that we got those two news stories covered, the biggins, we still got more GTA 6 news to cover. I am gonna give a try for Equilibrium. Reno is on fire right now. Yeah, what the hell happened over there? Is Reno, Nevada on fire right now?
Checking now? Okay, yeah. There is a major wildfire threatening Reno called the Hawk Fire. It started Saturday near Somerset and Peavine and has burned over 15,000 acres with zero containment so far.
God damn, the Hawk Tua fire?
Let me double check the name. Yeah, it's unfortunately a real name, but the situation is very serious.
How many acres got burned up?
Checking? Over 15,000 acres, still 0% contained.
God, 0% contained?
Let me confirm. Yeah, 0% is as serious as it sounds. That doesn't mean nothing is being done. It just means that with the current conditions, they haven't been able to establish a secure perimeter yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. Reno's on fire. I'm from there, dude. I spent some good time in there in Reno. The biggest little city in the world. What would I even use on the boss here? I'm trying to think. On the melee boss, I'll probably spin hammers him. So I'll probably use tractor and spin on him. On the other boss, I don't even know. I'm trying to remember what I did before. Give me a second here. Let's see here. Do. He's just slashing with the damn sword? You have to like shoot the hands, right? Interesting. I don't know what I would do. I'm trying to think of what weapons would be good now. Okay, this guy's got on fucking this gun. What does he do to this guy? He does Tahara. He's gonna do like spin to win, I guess. He's gonna swap to a tractor loadout. Tractor, spin to win. Just shredding this guy pretty good. And then he does shotgun melee stuff. Tractor, shotgun melee. Yeah, that's good. All fine and dandy. What does he do when he gets to the final boss? Damn, he clapped that boss. What the fuck? The fuck did he do to this guy? Tractor? Holy shit. Oh, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? Hey, yo. What the hell? Oh, this is free. This is free. What the fuck was that? That was the most insane shit I've ever seen. Alright, so we will be tractoring and spin to win. And then we need like a 1-2 punch shotgun. One, two. Punch. So I need like a 1-2 punch shotgun, right? What does he use? He uses perfect paradox. I think his is better because he doesn't have to reload it, right? Got some crazy threat levels in here. 1-2 punch. Trench bro. This must be good, right? What is this? Trench barrel after a successful melee hit, this weapon gives increased damage, improved handling, improved reload speed for short duration. This has to be crazy good, right? So I'm doing 1-2 punch, hitting a target with every pellet increases the melee damage. So I shoot this and I throw a hammer. The perfect paradox origin trait is good. I just don't have that exact roll, I guess, so that's probably the problem. Gain significantly increased ammo generation. Black armor and final weapon bonus grip against significantly more ammo generation. And damage against combatants when the weapon is redrawn. God damn. Yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna use this for sure. Fuck it. It's gotta be decent at least. Still people at the tower? Yes, sir. I think this will be at least decent. I don't know if this will be like the best thing ever. So we got... So we got 7 in the mag. So we probably have to like reload this. I have to reload this thing, so I'll probably just do like enhanced reload, I guess. So I can reload it faster. I'm assuming that's pretty good. That's probably what I want. We'll do that. That looks good to me. Loader. Probably want a little bit more like melee damage. Melee damage. Melee damage. Do Arc Solar Void. Here we'll do Kinetic Weapon and Recuperation. That looks good to me. Alright. Boom. Boom. Alright, that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. That should work. Alright. This is it, the finale, the final dungeon in Destiny 2 in my solo flawless journey. It's taken me a long time to get here, I'm not gonna lie. We've been through quite the journey. And finishing this is going to be, it's gonna be sad. Maybe I'll throw a couple runs and just die so that way I have more time to play Destiny. Because when I do finish this, it's gonna be over. And then what? Then I fall into the abyss of what do I play now? Good luck, no luck needed, dude. #1 dungeon man here, guaranteed to not die. Also extremely humble. Where'd that damn hammer go? I just hurled that hammer into the fucking sunset. Goodbye, hammer. I don't remember how to start this fucking thing. I didn't even rally the dang flag, dude. I'm new around here. This guy's trying to bait me onto the fucking platform so I die. It's well funny to me. Not falling for that shit. What was that I had to do? I had to like click something. Oh, I had to like activate this when he does that, right? He like does that and I like activate this thing, right? That's what it was. I forgot everything. It's crazy, this dungeon isn't even that old and I already forgot everything. I must be getting old. Brain no work, you too good. This was a key part here, you had to like check out where the light was. Damn tutorial popping up in the middle of this shit. Yeah, so I have Shadow Novice, and I want to keep this buff going. And I keep this buff going by doing this. I need that. Keep it by stepping in that. That spawns this. That's what it was. So then you get this guy. Right here. God damn. Fuck my life. This is the least efficient clear of this room ever. Ran out of damn special ammo. Fuck. That's not what I'm trying to do. Fuck my life, dude. I got a fucking gun to shoot these guys with. I've got a shotgun. 84 years later, dude. Need a healing nade before I approach this guy too much. Right, huge. All right. So far, so flawless, dude. Made it through the first part. Skipping the old cutscene. Alright, first boss. We are going to do Tractor. We're going to do Spin to Win. Alright, here we go. I forgot everything about this. I feel like this didn't really make any sense. Like, why does he have 2 lightsabers? Alright, so it's like you're supposed to get Shadow Novice, and then once you get the full buff, you have to light up all 3 rooms, right? Which involves like meleeing all of these targets within a short window of time, right? So I meleeed that one. I'm trying to remember. That like locks that room in place. And then I just have to go to the 3rd room. Once you've locked all 3 rooms in place, then you can go back to the middle. I feel like this is so chill compared to Vespers. After doing Vespers, I'm like, this is a fucking walk in the park, man. If this was Vespers, there would be like random ass fucking lightning everywhere. Fucking exploder shakes that one hit kill you. And then once I get in here, I forget what it was. You have to like do some. You have to like. Oh, don't get blown up by that. I guess. It's stage 1, and then you had to. Oh, you have to like open this up, and then he like falls in, right? Yeah, it was like he opens up, and then he like falls in. Okay, so I do this. He's gonna like fall in. When he falls in, he's gonna like jump out. I'm gonna melee him a few more times after he jumps out. Okay, so that was one phase, I guess. That works. Alright. Still have the buff from before, so ideally I want to get through here. Get this cruising. Why does this feel so easy? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Dude, Vespers has like changed my freaking my heart rate, dude. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. Something's gonna blow up in an instant. Something's bad's gonna happen. that lightning's gonna come after me or something crazy. It just feels relatively easy and straightforward. Now that being said, he is gonna go into his little final stand. We got that. I'll probably just save my super for that section, I guess. I don't know, I probably just use my damn super, fuck it. What the hell? I gotta break the shields again? How did I break his shields in over here? I've never had to do this before. That's awkward. What even breaks this fucking shields over here? Is it a wipe then? Oh. Oh, what the fuck? I have never done these mechanics in my life. I don't think anyone has ever done these mechanics. Excuse me? Oh, that didn't even get him? Oh, come on. You gotta be fucking kidding me, bruh. I thought he would be, the shields would be broken. You gotta be... Okay, just use your fucking super already. Jesus H. Christ. Okay, go in the hole. Go in the hole. I've always killed them before this. I've never done that before. That's funny. Okay, when you have Shadow's Apprentice, how do I swap over to the, like... See how I can, like, do that? What's the button that, like, swaps you over to the other mode, though, you know? So you can throw your healing nade. There's, like, a button you click, right? You can swap back and forth. I need to figure this out. I've never done that before. Yeah, I've never. I thought I was gonna wipe. I thought I was done for. I forget what the keybind is. It's the same button that activates it? Oh, gotcha. So you click grenade? Because I think in the boss room you like do this, but then you also can like go back and forth. It's F or Z? Oh, Z, thank you. It's Z. Yeah, Z, thank you. So yeah, I gotta go back and forth. So that way I can, yeah, Z. Good. Uh-huh. What is going on here? Am I like soft locked out here or something? What happened? Oh, I gotta click this button here? I'm drunk. Man, I have not done this in a while, you can tell. Alright, now I have all the mechanics down though. Now I got it all locked in. Ironically, not knowing, not being familiar with the area, it's almost like a blind clear. I thought for sure I was gonna die after the guy's shields came up back there. I was like, yep, dead. Good run. The fact that it has such a forgiving mechanic that you can do that multiple times is actually insane. Like, I like it, but it's also like, that's kind of crazy. That's like the exact opposite of Vespers. Vespers is like, oh, you made 0 mistakes? How about you just die anyways? Oh, what's that? Oh, you did everything absolutely right? What if just like some fucking lightning just dropped on your head right now? Probably more likely to die in this traversal than basically anywhere else at this stage. Huge bitter end. Where they at though? I think a crazy mechanic would be if Shadow Apprentice like killed you or maybe made you one shot when the timer ran out. Can you imagine? Let me in. The hell? These guys are resistant to these bullets. God damn. This guy's got some heat. Bruh. Alright. Tractor it is. And a shotgun. And yep. 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 Alright. Let's go time. Knock knock. Open the door. The Lure of the Dark. I totally remember this mechanic. Totally, definitely. 100% definitely remember. I think I have to get Gathering Shadow up, if I remember correctly. I can't break this until I do that. And then he's zapping me, right? Break that. That's Gonzo. More Shadow Novice. This guy's gonna like send me over pretty soon. I have to like kill this guy, I think. What does killing this guy do again? Who's this guy? Question mark? Or I cleanse him. Right. I get the buff. This extends the time. Maximize the buff. Then I go over here and I use the buff on this guy, which is compel. You have been compelled. Lost my buff now. Get new buff. Usually you gotta shoot that in order to extendo the time. Okay, I have Shadow Master. Extendo the time here. Let's go over here. Cleanse one of these guys over here. Over yonder. Surely someone's over here. I think there's like one in the middle, one on the top, so there's 3 around the edge here, right? You have been cleansed. I could shoot the middle, but if I do shoot the middle, I'll just kill that one, so then I'll go up top next time. That works better. Do that. Shadow Master is got. Okay, now I just gotta go up top. Get one of those. Get up here, we're gonna cleanse this guy. Preferably grab this buff. That's best case scenario. So now I'm trapped on this side until I break all of those. Then the boss damage will begin. Now from here what I can do is turn off some of the electricity. That can be done by meleeing some of these things. No! I came out of it and I used my healing nade, but I swapped to my darkness buff. That's crazy. GG's. We tried. That's crazy. That's so fucked. I got fucked. Look at this. This is actually toxic. So, I'm spinning in my super, right? Look at it. Think of the logic of this. I'm spinning in my super. I can see my healing nade is here. So I'm like, I'm going to be really smart. And when my super's done, I'll throw my healing nade at my feet. And then I'll break the boss's electricity hands. Super's done. And immediately it puts me in the fucking shadow. It puts me in the shadow mode. The instant the super's done, it says, actually, you can't use your healing nade anymore. It insta puts me into the shadow mode. So I do the shadow melee instead of throwing my healing nade at my feet, which would keep me alive. Impeccable work here. Impeccable work. You know what? Just because of that, I'm rage quitting, and I'm never playing this game again. Until tomorrow, alright? I'll see you then, chat. I gotta head out for the night. I tried and failed. We didn't make it today, but we'll be back tomorrow for the last dungeon. We got Vespers done, so that's pretty good. Surely we'll get this done tomorrow. This one's not as bad. I mean, I made it all the way to the boss first try. On Vespers, it took like multiple tries to get to the damn boss. But should switch nades before super? It doesn't let you do that. When you come out of your super, it auto switches you back, and then you'd have to switch and then click the grenade button. That, or just throw the healing nade before you're out of your super, if that makes sense. Oh, because I had Shadow before super? Interesting, it would let me do that. Oh, good, good, Arcane. I don't know if it would auto swap you back, though. I'm not sure. Either way, it's one of those lessons that I've learned many times before, but I kind of forgot because I haven't been in this dungeon, but I'll remember next time. Thank you for that. Thanks for the follows, the subs, the bits, the donations. Thank you for hanging out here. I had a great time today. I hope you did too. And